Scotty Bowers, 88 years old. You're
No.
sitting there telling me you're 88.
89.
89?
I'm almost 90. I'm approaching
Well,
90.
I want to grow up in the farm. You're from a farm of Illinois.
Right.
Grew up in Illinois.
Yes.
And wrote this book of Hollywood.
Yeah.
A guy from Illinois, a young boy, coming to but you joined the Marines. When did you join the Marines? At 18?
18. At
Really?
the very beginning of World War II, the beginning of 1942.
So you left Illinois and said, goodbye, I'm on my way to see the world.
Yes.
I see. Okay, that's a good idea.
There.
So tell me, Scotty, about the life of the Marines. You know, I used to work and entertain the troops, and there's not a Marine I have never met that you can't turn over.
Oh,
Is that true?
Well, I
Come on, Scotty.
No, I don't know. During the Marine Corps in World War II,
Right.
if you're going to do something, you better do it while you're in town, not while you're in the Marine Corps.
Marines,
They'll
yes,
kick
yes,
you out of the
it's
goddamn
totally
Marine Corps
different.
in a second.
Yeah.
The Army, you can get by with that bullshit, but not in the Marine Corps.
Why the Army?
Because the Army, hey, remember, if you were fat and wore glasses, you could get in the Army.
Right.
If you were fat and wore glasses, you couldn't get in the Marine Corps.
You are good looking, though. I'll tell you something. You're a handsome guy. Look at you, man. I want to show my audience. Look at you, this Marine.
18. I was 18
18
then.
years old? God, Scotty, you're a hot guy. Tell me something. Stationed in Okinawa?
No, not stationed in Okinawa. The war was over when Okinawa came along.
Oh, really?
Absolutely. Okinawa was the end of the war. They dropped a bomb and that was the end of the war.
Ah, okay.
The 6th Division was in Okinawa. The 6th Marine, the 6th, the Marine Corps had 6 divisions. The 6th Division went to Okinawa in April of 1945, and then the war was over.
And you came here in the 40s.
I came here in early in 42,
42.
from Chicago to San Diego in the Marine Corps.
I see. And you stayed. How did you, as a young Marine, they all come to Hollywood, young Marines. Why is that?
Yeah. Well, if you're stationed in San Diego and you have the weekend off, and the weekend is Saturday night, basically, you go to Los Angeles or Hollywood.
Hollywood.
That's why during World War II, Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood, between Highland and
Ivar.
between Vine and La Brea,
yeah.
there'd be 3,000 and 4,000 guys in uniform, Army, Navy, and Marine Corps.
Right.
And Sunset Boulevard was the same way, just packed solid.
Well, we had a USO there, too.
Well, it wasn't.
On
It
Ivar.
wasn't the USO that did it. The USO was on Sunset Boulevard,
Right.
but it wasn't the USO did it as much as people just being in Hollywood. And
Young man,
what?
18, how did you get involved with all these stars?
I got involved with most of them. Some when I got out of the Marine Corps.
You were doing the service. I mean, you
Yeah.
were doing gas. Is that right? Pumping gas?
Because I spent most of my time overseas, not in Hollywood or not in San Diego.
Right.
In the Marine Corps, you train and you train and you train, and as a matter of fact, they make it so difficult on you. You're goddamn glad to go overseas. That's the nice thing about the Marine Corps, or the clever thing about the Marine Corps.
Okay. But how did you get involved with this?
By
Hollywood stars.
By just meeting different people.
Where were you at the time? You were pumping gas at a place on Hollywood
on
Boulevard?
Hollywood Boulevard and Van Ness,
Van Ness.
at a Richfield gas station just after World War II.
Right.
Where
It was
I-
called Richville?
Richfield.
Yeah.
Richfield, spelled out in big letters, Richfield.
I remember that.
And that's where I really got into business.
In the business.
In the business.
What you're talking about in the business, getting to know you.
Getting to
know you.
Getting to know you.
Know all the stars. I
Getting
mean,
to know.
they all used to come in there, from
Well,
Randolph Scott's
not-
to...
Hey, you meet one and you meet the other. A few came in and a few heard about it and came in, so the word got around very rapidly.
Were you pimping at the time? Or you pimping for somebody? or
Well,
what?
you could call it pimping. I mean, some people
You
might
do-
call it, some might call it procuring, some might call
Procuring.
it being a nice guy,
Oh, helping others.
some might call it fixing people up with people.
Right,
There's
right.
different
yes,
ways
the
of
way
putting
expressed.
it. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. I agree. Who's the first star? Very, very first star you met? Do you remember?
Well, the very first star I met at the gas station was Walter Pigeon, but prior to that, I
Walter
met
Pigeon.
Cary Grant and Randolph Scott.
They were lovers, weren't they?
Yes.
Randolph Scott. They had a house in the
They had one.
beach.
They had one at the beach in Santa Monica Beach. It was Barbara Hutton's house, and they had one just behind the Chateau Marmont on
Yes.
Marmont Lane or Avenue.
Randolph Scott was a masculine cowboy.
Real sweetheart of a guy.
You would tell anyone that he was gay, they would say no. How did he hide that?
Well, remember, there's a lot of people that aren't gay that do gay things, but they really aren't gay.
I don't know what you mean by that.
You know what I mean by that?
No, I don't.
There are a lot of straight people,
Never trust a naked.
but they aren't gay, in other words, in
Yeah,
appearance
yeah.
or anything. There are a lot of straight acting people. And there are other people who look gay and act gay.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I have to be careful here because I'm over taping in Hollywood at the Beverly Hills High.
Oh.
And we have to edit that word. But that's
okay.
okay. Full service. You wrote a book about this now.
A full service. As I said,
Your life.
as I mentioned, the original title was going to be A Gas Station on Hollywood Boulevard, after the gas station. And I said, that's a little long for a title and uninteresting. Why not call it Full Service? Because there is such a thing as a full-service gas station.
Right. But Scotty, tell me something about who encouraged you. Some of the people like, what's his name, Gore Vidal. Did he encourage you to do the book? I want to know. Did he do some writing on this book? I want to know that.
Several people encouraged me to do the book. Gore was very instrumental in getting the book published. I would say without Gore, the book would not have been published.
Oh, that's what I've been watching. That's it. But he put that in for you. Did he add things in there telling you stars, all the people that he hated and everything about? He hated a lot of people, you know.
Well, yes, he did.
He was a very vicious man. He was not very, I know he's your friend, but he wasn't not very nice to certain people.
Well, he was honest is all.
Is that the word you
That's
use?
what you call being
Okay.
honest.
Okay.
That's what you call thinking the right way. I mean, he was honest to himself and about people rather than pretending that he liked them.
How did you get to know him?
I got to know him when World War II ended, which was when it was 63 or 64
Really?
years ago, when he just got out of the Army, where he'd been up in the Aleutian Islands, and he came down here, and he used to come in the gas station.
And he was very popular with that book he wrote.
Oh, yeah.
It was a gay book.
Yeah, he's written quite a few books.
Yeah, many.
I don't know just which ones he wrote at the time, but
The one that really made him for a star. 18 years old, Marines coming over to Hollywood, being mixed with these big superstars from Illinois. Come
Yeah.
on, look at me, Scotty. How do you feel about this? Now you got a book,
I
and now
feel-
you're 88. Good God.
I've always felt good about everything, meaning those, I felt good about the people I know, the people I dealt with, the book I wrote.
You said something about Spencer Tracy
Yeah.
and Katharine Hepburn in the book.
Yes.
Is it really true about Spencer Tracy in the book? I mean, Katharine Hepburn, I know but Spencer Tracy, that's the one that I'm hard to understand.
Well, Spencer Tracy, the way he was and what he did, he really didn't admit to himself even.
Oh, he didn't even know.
Well, he knew but would never admit it.
Admit it, yes.
Meaning he was always rather loaded, rather drunk,
They were drunk, yeah.
and then whatever happened.
And what happens when you're drunk? That I've dealt with that.
And what happens when you're drunk, he doesn't want to remember the next day.
Yes.
In detail, that is.
Yes. You met a lot of them in Hollywood like that.
Some.
Some? I don't think so. I think this whole book is like that.
Well, you mean it didn't want people to know?
People to know, yes.
No, but a lot of them were not alcoholics or lushes, and a lot of people in the book, people knew about. I mean, people that knew him knew about it. But
Oh, you mean like Tab Hunter and Jamie Dean,
they knew the lives of most of those people. Yes.
Farley Granger,
Right.
yeah. Rock Hudson? You knew
Right.
Rock very well.
Right.
Tell me about Rock Hudson.
Rock Hudson was.
He's a great guy, though.
Yeah, I met him way back in 1947 or 48 too, back in those days. And at that time, he was living in North Hollywood with a guy who was a car hop in a drive-in.
Dolores is driving?
No, that drive-in that used to be right there across from Book Soup. There used to be a drive-in where
Oh,
Capitol
yes,
Records
I do know
was.
that one. Yeah, I remember.
There was a
it.
drive-in
Uh-huh,
right on the corner of Holloway Drive and Sunset.
right.
And the kid worked in there as a car hop, and Rock lived with him, and they lived over in North Hollywood, and they had a brand new 1947 car and an Irish setter dog, and that's when and how I met rock.
Someone's trying to tell me something, but I'm not going to say nothing. You know, today things are open. Everything is
Yeah.
open. And you can get away with it. But did you try to write this book about, because the Kinsey Report opened the thing. The Kinsey Report opened the things for
A little
everybody.
bit, yeah, a little
The
bit,
sex,
yes.
they opened it all. So people feel more comfortable. Are people, would they read your book, Scotty? Women especially.
Yeah.
I see they're very accepting. They're accepting this book.
Yes,
I mean, if you
they-
did this
yeah.
5-10 years ago, I don't think they would accept it. Why are they accepting this book
I don't
today?
know.
Tell me.
I would, which Matt will tell you, half the letters I got are from women who think the book was wonderful and everything about it is wonderful. The fact that it's written that way.
Uh-huh.
So, as you said, people do kind of accept it, and I'm sure there's some that don't, but most people do.
Who's some of the people like Bob Hope? Didn't like him. I was in Vietnam. He was a mean man. Everybody loved Bob Hope.
That's right. Everybody loved
Me did not like him.
Bob Hope was, and Dolores,
Mean.
Dolores,
How did
Dolores'
you feel
wife.
about that?
I like Bob Hope. He was a nice guy. He was certainly a nicer guy than Bing Crosby was.
Well, Bing Crosby has problems, yeah.
Yeah,
with
Bob
his
Hope.
children. And
Bob Hope was a very nice guy. Everyone liked him. He loved hookers and always
loved
fixed
hookers.
always fixed his army captain friends up with cookers who were in charge of entertainment
right.
when they were in town. As a matter of fact, his favorite hooker, Barbara Payton, married one of those army captains.
Terrible life, Barbara Payton.
Yeah.
Getting back, she died.
Sweet.
She was like a
She
street lady.
She
And
died as a complete loser.
Loser, yes.
That's right.
I knew her very well.
she'd been
The
a-
bar and
She'd been a
Sunset.
sweet, yeah. She used to go into coaching horses there,
That's right, the Coaches and Horses.
and lived right on the corner. And she got to
And
where
gorgeous.
she got to a point where she'd lay you if you bought her a beer, and
beer,
that was
that's
really
right.
what
She
you
gave
called the
herself
bottom
away.
of the barrel bit.
Yeah. She went with
And
construction workers.
it was very sad to see her go downhill like she
She was
did.
married to French Antone, wasn't she?
She married French Antone once,
One of them, like Gene Wallace, yeah.
and
right.
she was married a couple, 3 times.
Who's some of your favorite people that you got to really know?
Uh,
Because later in life, you start doing catering. Catering. How
Catering.
did you come into catering, Scotty? Cooking, all
hey,
that.
even when I was fixing people up, you could call that catering too, couldn't you?
Yes, of
Okay, I
course.
just continued my catering business into food. Went from people to food.
You certainly did. Good. You cater great. And cater all the best people in Beverly Hills, here in L.A. Beverly Hills.
Yes, I worked for
Bel Air.
I worked for a lot of nice people who I got to know over the years and worked for them continually.
Who's some of the favorites you have that you work for? You must have some favorites.
Well, one of my favorites is John Seitz. John Seitz is the
Seitz.
one who owns the Beverly Hills Courier,
Right.
the paper, the Beverly Hills Courier. And John lives in Bel Air. And John is a real sweetheart of a guy, and I'm very fond of John. And of course, Ellie Valley, who I've worked
That's
for
Rudy
her,
Valley's wife.
her and Rudy years ago,
I love. Yeah.
and still work for her.
They had a nice house, didn't they?
I could sit here for hours and name off all the nice people I work for and know and like.
Everybody loves Scotty Bowers. You know
Yeah.
why they love you so much? And they're buying your book, and your book is so because you just use the word nice guy. You're a nice guy. You don't want to put anyone down.
Well,
You wrote a book about him, but that's nothing bad about him.
No,
You're just saying what they like
right.
and what they enjoy in life.
I have another book coming up. I'm writing about Matt Turnauer.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, about the sex life of Matt Turnauer.
Now, who is he?
He's a well-known person around town. He's a name actor and everything. Matt Turnauer.
Okay.
Everybody knows him or have heard about him.
You're writing a book about him?
Yeah.
88. Keep writing.
89.
89. God, 89. Scotty, please. I tell you something. Who gave you the title of Sex Lives of the Hollywood Stars? That's kind of an interesting title.
They just threw that in. I think the publishing company,
Who's the writer helped you with it?
Lionel Friedberg.
English.
Yes. English.
Kinky. He's kinky. I'm using the word kinky because that's a kinky word, English.
Oh yeah.
That's the English kink.
He's very businesslike, and
Is he?
Yeah, very businesslike, and he is a writer. He's a studio writer and has written a lot of things. He has 2 or 3 Emmys for writing.
But the basic one is Gore Vidal. He is the man that got Scotty going away, taken away.
Well,
and
he's the
becoming
one.
a hit. You're selling more books. You sold over 1 million copies here in America.
Right.
1 million.
Yeah.
Sitting there, Scotty. Look at me.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with all that money? 89.
What am I going to do with it?
Yeah, come on.
I'm going to donate it to the Matt Turnauer Foundation.
Now, I don't know who this man is you keep
Well,
telling me.
Oh, I'll tell you.
Go ahead.
I'll tell you in a little while. Matter of fact, I may even move him in with you.
Move in with me?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Matt, huh?
Yes.
You've got this wonderful money you're having, all this gorgeous, they gave you a big, big sum. You're making more money than, and your books are being, how did you get on the 10th?
The best-selling list?
That's it.
By the books that were sold and by all the good advertisement they did on the book. That's what put.
So the publishing really pushed that book, didn't
Well,
they?
the publishing company pushed it right into position with all the advertisement they did.
That helps.
That did help. You bet it did.
And you've been appearing everywhere in this town, all over New York, San Francisco. You've done Vanity Fair. Tell me about Vanity Fair. What articles you're getting? Tell me about it.
Well, there have been 15 different pitches they've given. The biggest one was 7 minutes on CBS.
They did a thing of you on CBS?
7 minutes on CBS.
7 minutes, okay.
And of course, the New York Times with their big pitch, and the Washington Post, and the Los Angeles Times, and the People magazine, and on The View, they had on The View too.
Tell me, how do you getting all these great publicity and talking about you, Scotty?
I would say that was all done by having a good agent. The agent of the book.
That's important.
Who's a sweetheart of a guy too.
You got to have an agent.
And he's the one that does. He has all those good connections, I'm sure.
Well, the publishing company's doing
Well, the
very,
publishing
very
company,
well.
that's a combination of the agent and the publishing company together, who are friends and know each
And
other.
Lionel is a great writer. He's
Yes.
helped you with this. Did
Yeah.
he give you some ideas? Or did
No, he just did the writing bit, but ideas, I had
just
the
talked to him and
I
he
had the
wrote.
ideas.
Yeah. Gore Vidal, did he really, come on, Scotty, did he, is your friend, did he have anything to do with the writing of this?
Gore,
Or he talked about the Duke of Windsor, is that his idea, about the Duke of Windsor?
no, that's my idea.
Is it?
Yes.
You met them.
I knew them.
You knew them. Tell me about them, please.
Well, Wally and Edward, the family called him David. I don't know where that came in. That was a family name, David. And Wally, of course, if you knew them and got to know them, you'd realize he was kind of a shy, bashful guy.
He was shy.
He was shy and bashful,
Uh-huh.
and she was a ball buster.
Here he is. She was, yeah.
She was the ball buster of the operation or the outfit.
How about Errol Flynn? I knew him too. He was a great guy.
A nice-looking guy and a nice guy who died when he was 50, which was a shame because Errol Flynn was a
Drank himself to death.
you can say that. That's just about what happened.
Yeah.
And not eating, just drinking.
I interviewed his daughters. Their daughters.
And a very nice guy, and I always liked Errol Flynn.
This is you, Scotty, with your brothers or something?
That's my brother and sister and I, yes.
Your brother and your sisters. So there's 3 of you in the family.
There were
Are
3.
there brothers and sisters living?
No, my brother was with me in the Marine Corps and was killed at Iwo Jima.
Oh, he was?
Yes.
He was young, huh? And how about your sister?
She's still living in a little town in Illinois.
In Illinois? And how does she know anything about this book?
No, she doesn't.
Ah, see, Illinois, you get away, disappear.
You can get away with it if you live in a little town. That's right. She'll probably never know.
She'll
and if
never
she
know.
And if she does, I'll say, "Gee, thank you for telling me. I didn't even know about it."
I love it, Scotty. I love the high places you've been.
The high places.
Yeah. Gary Grant, come on, let's talk about Gary Grant. You knew him?
Cary Grant?
Yeah.
Yes, I knew him for many years. I mean, from World. War II at the beginning until he died many years later.
Tell me about Gary Grant.
Well, he was a very nice guy, and a very nice guy who died when he was 50, which was a shame because
He was young, huh? And how about your sister?
he was a sweetheart of a guy. And I mean, not too long ago.
He was bi, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean,
he was really
there are
bi.
many people that are bi,
Well, Monty Cliff was bi too.
but no. Monty Cliff was gay.
Gay,
And there's a difference between being bi,
bi,
and gay.
yeah.
You know what bi
Like
means?
Tab Hunter,
You know
Tab
what,
Hunter.
You know what bi means, don't you?
Yes, of course, they
What does
go
it
for
mean?
both.
It means bye-bye to girls and hello boys.
But okay, that's a good one. No, they go for both. Farley, same as you know Tony. Did you know Tony Perkins? Anthony?
Oh yeah,
Tell me about Anthony Perkins. He was a very lonely man, very dark,
he was. He was kind of a sad guy.
wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I knew him, and no, not what you call buddy real, but I knew him and fixed him up, and we knew each other. He lived up in Laurel Canyon.
He did, didn't
Yeah, had a wife and kids and everything.
he? Troy Donahue. Did you ever meet Troy?
Yeah, years ago. Didn't know him too well, but knew Troy.
I'm going to throw a name at you. Tyrone Power.
Let's try and pull him.
Beautiful man. I knew his what?
I met him in 1942 and knew him until he died, and we were good friends.
Yes, he was Cesar Romero's friend. They were
Yeah. And
together?
Cesar Romero was a nice guy. I liked him too. Very sweet guy. Matter of fact, he was always up a block from where you live. He was up at Alfredo's building all the
Alfredo's
time.
on Crescent Heights.
Crescent
Right.
LaFontaine apartments there. And he always ran around with Sybil Brand.
Oh, Sybil Brand.
Remember Sybil?
Lover. Yes, of course, I knew Sybil very well.
Sybil lived to be about 103 years old.
Did you meet Edith Piaf?
I
Or
knew
is it
Edith
Dietrich?
Piaf, yes.
Dietrich, you knew Dietrich. Marlena?
No, I did not know Marlena Dietrich. I saw her, but didn't know. A lot of people I'd see, but didn't really know them.
No, you met them at the parties.
No, just
They
because you
all
see
at the
someone
parties.
doesn't mean you
see
know them. Yeah,
See, Scotty Bowers, you are a famous party giver. I mean,
yeah. But Edith Piaf, I knew well at the time because she came here and stayed here, and her and I stayed together for a month or more, just about a month.
who used to make the menus up? Did you or the ladies that
What
you worked with?
menus?
Menu for the catering.
If you want to be successful in catering, and I'm not talking about big catering, studio catering and things, but
No.
little personal catering,
Right.
let the person of the house make the menu up. As a matter of fact, let them even buy the food. The reason being is, I learned long ago, you buy good food, whether it's meat, whatever it is, and the lady might say, you know, that was very expensive and the meat was tough. I said, you know what? You buy the meat from now on and I'll come and cook it. That way you can't complain about it being tough. And I got on that kick. Let them buy the goddamn food. They have nothing to do anyhow. Then they can, and they know what they're getting and what they've got, and they never complained about the food was wrong or bad. You follow?
Full service, Scotty Bowers,
Yes.
The Adventures in Hollywood, The Secret Sex Lives of the Stars. Movie?
Movie?
Is it going to be a film?
Well, a few people, 3 or 4 people, have talked about it. I don't know just how they're going to do a film.
This book is in #1 for many
Yeah.
weeks, many
Yeah.
weeks, many weeks.
The new books have a title across, say, New York Times bestseller.
Yes,
It's
New York-
written right across the book.
You've been at #1, bestsellers, everything. You're
Yeah.
doing well. You're making millions. You're doing extreme. Hey, you know, I was talking to Grace Robbins. You know, Harold Robbins' wife, right? She
I know
wrote a
Harry
book.
Gracie very well.
Of course, you know Grace, and she can't get her book done, and it's hard to get a book done.
Yeah, but she's been writing a book for the last 25 years.
You know why? Because she didn't put any sex in there. And I told her to read Scotty Bowers' book, put sex in it, and will that sell? If she adds sex to it.
If she makes that maybe the main topic of it, she should have written years ago
About that.
about the things that her and Harold did.
Did on the yacht.
Did
Absolutely.
at home. I've been at
Oh,
Harold.
they carried on.
I've
Yeah.
been at their place when Harold has got. She's upstairs with somebody in the bed. He's downstairs having some girl do him on a table. Some
Yeah.
girl's doing his
Absolutely.
manicure, and another girl's hung his
Yes,
cock.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
at the
That's
same
Harold
time.
Robbins and Mrs. Robbins. Yep.
Yeah.
They carried on. She should have put that all in the book. She was ashamed to put things like that in the book.
No, but
I
she
don't know
should have put
why.
that in the book because just little.
You're not ashamed of this book, are you?
Well, no, because there's nothing that is upsetting about it.
People ask me about
It's
this.
That's what you call everyday living.
It is.
As a matter of fact, I should have titled the book "Everyday Living."
Scotty Bauer, I love your way of positive thinking. What do you think makes you live so long and so good and healthy? Look, there's nothing wrong with Scotty Bowers. No arthritis. Look, I'm walking around. You're looking good. Look at that hair.
Well,
and you're good looking as ever.
There's three things I think.
What?
If you're on the list to live long,
right.
Not to be a smoker, number one.
Right.
Not to be, smoking is worse than drinking. Not to be a smoker, not to be a drinker really, and drink a lot of water, and be a friend of Matt Turner's, and you got it made.
You're right. You're right.
You know?
So you served a lot of liquor to a lot of people. A lot of people in your time. You don't drink at all, do you?
I licked a lot of people and served a lot of liquor, too.
You don't drink at all?
Huh?
You don't drink at all?
No.
Not at all.
I mean, if I go to someone's house and they bring me a drink, I don't come on square and say I don't drink. I take it and nurse it along. Maybe the 3/4 of the drink is still there 4 hours later. But I don't come on that square and say, no, I don't drink. Whatever you give me, I'll take.
Scotty, thank you. This interview today is True Loves. What's this mean? What's True Loves all about?
What's true love about?
Yeah. Are there true loves in life?
There are few true loves in life, yes.
Did you have one?
No. Not many people.
But you've been married.
Not many people have true.
You have been married.
Yeah, but a true love is a different thing. A true love is when you see two people who've been together for 30 years and they go down the street looking at each other, holding hands and everything. And every once in a while you see true love, but there's not much of what you call true love.
Right.
There are people who, there's love involved, but true love is a different thing.
You've been married.
I would venture to say true love is a person with their little puppy dog and the way they wag their tail.
Okay.
And then you can tell that's true love, because a dog's tail never lies.
You love animals, I see.
Oh, yeah.
Scotty Bowers, you have a daughter.
I did have a daughter, yes.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
I see. Only one child?
Yes.
I see.
I mean, one child that I can talk about.
How many times have you been married?
I've had 4 children, but they were business-wise.
Oh, okay.
Business-wise is when you see someone to make a child and never see them.
You have done that?
Yes.
You really have?
Yes, I have.
Helping people getting their green card, or what?
What you call artificial insemination.
Okay.
Only real insemination. There's a difference.
That's interesting. Rock Hudson was a very, very nice man. I met him so many times.
Yeah.
He was always...
Rock was always a gentleman, you know.
Yeah. Tell me about... Look at her, Barbara. Oh, you do have Barbara here. She's beautiful. I want the audience to see. Look at her. Barbara Payton. Isn't that... Perkins says she's beautiful. She's a beautiful lady. The way she did it in her life at the end. Am I seeing what I'm seeing right now?
What's that?
Oh my God, Mae West. You knew Mae, did you?
Yeah.
What kind of woman was she? I've never met her, really.
She was short and sweet and rather demanding. My friend who lived with her never got out much. Once he lived with her, he never got around much anymore.
Really?
Oh, yeah, he did. He just sat there and listened to the radio and things like that back years ago.
She kept him right there, right?
We kept him right there. If he'd come up to the gas station, she'd call before he even got there, wanting him to come home. I said, for Christ's sake, he left your place. It takes at the most 10 minutes to get up to the gas station, 5 minutes. He's not here yet, and you already want him to come home. You know, I mean, she was rather possessive.
So your gas station in the 40s was very, very popular.
Basically in the 50s,
In
late
the
40s and 50s, yeah.
Very popular. Did everybody knew what it was all about, though? People knew?
Well, as you know, Skip, the word gets around, you could not advertise.
Right.
If you had money, you couldn't advertise as well as they pass the word around about the gas station. Meaning in a matter of weeks, everything was all over the goddamn, not all over the world, it was all over the world to friends who, you know, passed the word around about where to meet someone, where to see someone. And the advertising was done for me by people, which is always nice.
So how do you feel about this book, Scotty? You didn't tell me about who's going to play your life in the book, in the movie.
Well, I thought of maybe you.
No, not me.
And if you, my friend Matt Turner, I think, is going to play me. He's going to play me. Would be perfect for that.
I think the young boy, what's his name? The Italian boy who won the Oscar. What's his name? Can't think of his name right now. He's a wonderful guy. I think he would be great to do you.
Yeah.
He's got dark hair, curly hair. He did that gay movie in San Francisco.
Oh, Harvey Milk thing, you mean?
Yeah, that movie he did. What's the guy's name that won the
Oh,
award?
yeah, I know who you mean. Yes,
James Franco.
Who?
James Franco.
That's it, James
Yeah.
Franco.
Several
He's going to be
people
bigger than ever. He's got a new movie coming out.
Several people have said James Franco would be
is
good for it.
ideal for you. That's who I see.
Yeah.
James Franco.
Several people said that, yeah.
He's great.
I don't know, but they
he knows that. He knows what to do with that.
Yeah.
Scotty, thank you so much.
You're
It was
welcome,
wonderful
Skipper.
chatting with you this afternoon
Yeah.
in my little studio here in Beverly
Yeah,
Hills.
it was very nice in here.
Yeah, it's fun. Thank you, Scotty.
You're welcome.
God bless you.
Thank you.